Good evening. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. All 1, 2, 3 of you, 4 of you for coming to the special meeting of the Canfield Local Schools Board of Education. Mrs. Kestner, may we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Olson, President.
Present.
Mr. Fry, Vice President.
Present.
Mr. Bova.
Here.
Mr. Kestner. Mrs. Stern.
Present.
Pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask for a motion to accept the agenda in front of you, please.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova.
Yes.
Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Mrs. Stern.
Yes.
Mr. Olson.
Yes. Okay, we'll start with new business personnel. Mr. Jordan.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend for hire licensed employee, exhibit number 1, Beth Ripple, C.H. Campbell, Title I tutor, 7 hours per day, $16.98 per hour, effective 2013-14 school year.
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I will entertain a motion to hire Beth Ripple as C.H. Campbell, Title I tutor.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Mrs. Kestner?
Mr. Bova.
Yes.
Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Mrs. Stern.
Yes.
Mr. Olson.
Yes.
I'd like to recommend extended time hiring Michael Fay, 15 days extended time because of band purposes.
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I will entertain a motion to give Michael Fay 15 days extended time for band.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
What is his current position?
He is a new hire at C.H. Campbell music position, and this is a negotiated item for our marching band.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova.
Yes.
Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Mrs. Stern.
Yes.
Mr. Olson.
Yes.
Recommended hiring a classified employee, Kathy Palumbo, 10-month secretary at Hilltop Elementary School at $14.13 per hour. That's your Exhibit 2A.
And upon the recommendation of the superintendent, entertain a motion to hire Kathy Palumbo as secretary at Hilltop Elementary.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments?
Just a couple comments if I could.
Please.
We interviewed probably 15, 16 people for this position. Most of those 15 or 16 had some kind of a touch to Canfield schools already. They were employed in some way. And Joe and I narrowed that down to about 4, I believe, Alex. Alex was involved in the final selection, and we really felt that Kathy Palumbo could do a good job for us. She's been over there as a summer secretary for the last 3 years and has done a nice job there. So that's our recommendation to the board at this point in time to fill Madeline Pauley's role.
I'm just curious, if we hire her as a 10-month, does she still have the option to be a summer secretary? It's a different rate, I'm sure.
Well, we'd have to think about that. I never thought about that, Craig.
Okay. Well, we're hiring for a 10-month contract right now. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bova.
Yes.
Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Mrs. Stern.
Yes.
Mr. Olson.
Yes.
I'd like to recommend hire licensed substitutes, Larry Fontana Rosa, that's your Exhibit 3A, Jason Ray, Exhibit 3B, Michael Maeda, Exhibit 3C, and then also we'll consolidate this classified substitute, Cheryl Backlav, that's Exhibit number 4.
Okay, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I want to entertain a motion to hire the following substitutes: Larry Fontana Rosa, Jason Ray, Michael Maeda, and Cheryl Backlav.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? I have a question. As a classified sub, what is she entitled to do?
Anything that she is qualified to do. Now, in the past, Cheryl was one of our employees who was on the RIF list 2 years ago. That RIF list no longer is valid after the 2-year period. She could work in the cafeteria. She could work in any other location that we feel she's qualified for. But she was a cafeteria aide, playground aide, I believe, before.
Do you define the difference between a classified substitute in that respect versus a substitute bus driver?
She wouldn't be qualified.
No, I see that, but do you define them differently?
Yes.
Or is that still classified substitute?
No, they would be different. One thing is they're in a different organization, different union. Bus drivers, substitute bus drivers are in the Teamsters. There is no union for substitute classified. So, but yet.
All right, thank you. As long as there's only one there.
There you go.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bowden?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend adopt the resolution number 4, 2014, submitting the question of an additional tax levy. That's your exhibit number 5.
On the recommendation of the administration and the Community Financial Committee, I'm going to ask for a motion as a second reading to adopt resolution number 4, 2014, to put an additional tax levy of 5.9 mils on the ballot in November.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? Well, I know one thing. We've talked a little bit, debated about the 5.9 over time, and I was totally shocked at what you told me about the need for technical improvements in that, and it's an enormous amount of money. So
Definitely. You know, as we mentioned at a previous board meeting, and we've talked about all year, expansion of technology, just being able to pay the bills as we stand right now, keeping our current course offerings, and also grow as a district. This is a necessity that we see is something that our school system desperately needs. It's not necessarily a want, it is a need at this point.
thank you. Mrs. Kessler?
Mr. Bowden?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Mrs. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes. Okay, that said, no need?
If I could have just 2 minutes, I'd just
You
like to
can.
go
Is
just
that
a
the
couple-
business manager's report?
Yes, just a couple little projects. Behind you, you see the drawings of the concession stand that we've been talking about. We have been able to cross over some hurdles. They do currently have the proper zoning permits to get started. Met with the contractor and Rich Hammond up there this morning for probably 45 minutes to an hour, going over the layout. They have it laid out up there. If you get up there and you want to take a look, you can see how they have it laid out and where things will be. Rich Hammond is an extremely valuable resource up there as far as what's there. And in talking to the contractor, really, I'm pleased the way he's talking about making everything come together up there. Really seems like he knows what he's doing as far as electric and sewer and doing all that to keep it out of the way and behind that, the area there of the old, of the other concession stand. He's got some very good ideas, and I am very confident that when you see this build up there, you're going to enjoy it. It's basically going to be a metal roof, metal on the eaves up there, and then you're going to have the decorative block underneath the windows. And the sitting area is going to have, I believe, 4 12-foot tables under each of those eaves. It's about a 70-foot structure wide, so it's a pretty good structure, pretty good size structure, and I am very confident today that this will be a great improvement to our stadium and the concession area. Really pleased with that. The other part of it is I was really hoping to see some equipment back here in the back. Last week, they spent most of last week getting insurance and other incidentals that they had to get together. Today, they did lay out the track area back there. They've got everything staked out. I am pretty confident that we'll see equipment and earth being moved probably tomorrow. So that project is getting underway, and we're real pleased to be able to report that to you. So those are the two issues that I had that I wanted to present.
The building being there is not going to affect the bathrooms, is it?
No.
We have enough water coming in?
Yes.
Rich, having been around the school system for 40 years up there and watching various construction going on, some of which was good and some of which was not, do we have a schematic of the electric lines, the sewer lines, the water lines, where they are? Because we've had so much construction, I would hope that we have something out there.
Phil, it's a good question, because that was one of the issues that we talked about for a long time this morning. And what's going to happen is the contractor is going to give us a drawing with all of that marked in that total area from the stands all the way back and through where the scoreboard and restrooms are. So he's going to provide that for us at the end of this so that we have it for future use. But it is an issue, because piecemeal, and then, quite honestly, without Rich Hammond, I'm afraid we could be running into some things that could create issues up there. But Rich has a mind of a steel trap and remembers where almost all of that stuff was laid, and is a very good resource for us that way. But we're going to have that at the end of this construction.
Pick his brain and get as much of that on paper as you can.
And the contractor's going to provide a nice drawing with all of that laid out for us. Really am confident, folks, about how this building is going to go up.
And the electric, is it coming off the transformer? Are they going to have another transformer up there?
They're not going to have another transformer up there. They're going to, in fact, they're going to bring gas into that facility, so we're getting rid of any propane, which has always been an issue for the safety and also an issue with the fire department. So they're going to bring gas into the new unit, and maybe even into the other concession stand while we're at it, because that runs off of propane.
And Rich feels comfortable that they could still have the game of the week and have enough electric?
That's, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, from being athletic director, we rate some good things up for the games of the week. So if you put in, are the other two concession stands going to be open when they're done with this one?
The home, the old, I'm calling the old home side will not be open. This will be open as soon as it's completed.
Right. But I'm saying, is the visitors going to be open then?
Yes. Yes. Visitors will be open. They will man that. That's the plan at this point in time.
Minor question, is the facade going to look similar to the other ones, or?
It's going to be metal. You're going to have a metal roof, you're going to have metal side.
Okay.
Except the front where the brick is. I really think it's going to look great, guys. I really do. It's going to be red, the red roof, and the eave there, that area is going to be white. They're going to have a nice concession stand on there, probably with a cardinal on it. They're also going to have Alex, what are we calling it? To come over top of where those...
An awning.
Awning, thank you. Where the doors are, where the windows are. So it should be very nice, guys. It really
Lee
should.
brings up a real good point about the extra draw of electricity for those special events, and hopefully you have enough.
I mean, I just know because we blew the line underground. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. I mean, it was a boom. And Ohio Edison came out and put another breaker in, and it went boom. Because the line blew underground. And so I know where the line goes now because we had to dig it up.
Lee, I will double check on that, but I thought we upgraded that when we did the new lighting.
Oh,
I'll double check.
I'm just telling you, my first year as athletic director, we turned that on and it went boom. And I had turned it on Wednesday night because I was nervous, Thursday night because I was nervous, and Friday night went to turn it on and had the big boom.
It was 1940, wasn't it?
Yeah, 38.
All right, we'll double
Now,
check.
new lights haven't been in since 38, have they?
One other question, are we going to, I don't want to say publicize, but identify the fact that these projects are coming from permanent improvement funds versus general fund?
I've been talking with a gentleman that will provide us some signs for some areas back here. I think it would be very good that we have a sign out there saying that no PI, no public funds, all totally funds from the booster group are being used to build this. I think we need that, especially with what's coming up in November. People need to see that we're not out spending that money, general fund money for that.
Thank you.
Other questions? I do, I'm sorry, Craig, I have one other issue.
Yeah.
Patty's looking at me like, God, would you hurry? We are very, very close to signing a Coca-Cola contract. Coca-Cola brought in a proposal that was much, much better than Pepsi. I don't know, Lee, when you, and probably Phil too, when you folks were involved at the high school, the bottling companies were very, very generous at that time, but they have cut way, way back because their products basically have to fit in with the healthy products that we have to have at the schools now. So it's not as lucrative as it used to be, but Coca-Cola was far above what Pepsi-Cola was going to give us. So that's the direction we're
When you
headed.
say lucrative and was going to give us, could you be more specific? I mean, not necessarily numbers, but, you know, I don't want anybody to walk out here thinking we're getting kickbacks.
Oh, no, we're not getting large amounts of money. You know, in the past, they would provide enough money to do the entire scoreboard, which would have been $50,000. You know, you're talking a pittance now. You're talking enough to provide some scholarships, basically, is what we're talking about, plus any kind of commission that we get on products that we sell in our cafeteria, and then the booster groups are getting some commission on what they're selling in the concession stands. It isn't close to what we used to get out of them. So it will cover the scholarships and maybe a little bit more for us to do a little tiny project or put towards a project, but it's nowhere near what it used to be, folks.
Are the rules as tight about selling specifically Coke products versus, you know, Gatorade, which is not, versus whatever Coke's version of that is?
We have a blurb going out to the support groups that it is an exclusive Coca-Cola district. If you are selling anything in our area, in our district, on our facilities, it must be Coca-Cola, and it should be purchased through Coca-Cola of Youngstown. So that was something that we just okayed in a letter that Chris and Alex were getting out very, very soon to the booster groups.
How long is that agreement?
5 year.
5 years.
Is there sampling of that, like the pizza which we missed?
There's some, in fact, there's some in the refrigerator in there.
Check it.
Coke products.
The concession stand, they know they're going to contact the Board of Health?
The county is working with them very closely.
Good.
Yes. They've already been to the county, Lee, and
I just wanted to make sure
yeah.
before they open.
I really think that all the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted. I'm very confident.
Any other comments before we adjourn? And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Boy, pay.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.